Hi, I'm Margaret Abrams, and this is
Luke Carron.
And this is Uncoupled, the show where we deep dive into celebrity breakups to look at what went wrong and why.
Today we are talking about one of America's favorite couples, the Romeo and Juliet of our times, none other than Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez.
We got a lot of lovely comments on our last YouTube. People were obviously incredibly obsessed with Taylor Swift's relationship. And Taylor Swift and Selena, we know, are famously best friends. So one of the comments from Dream Chaser 7603
Preach, girl, preach.
Was Taylor Swift and Selena Gomez are competing for the title of having the craziest, most toxic, addictive relationship of the century. What was in the air in the 2010s that made these girls completely lose their minds?
What are your thoughts?
I mean, both of them did have insane situationships that basically lasted for a decade.
They did. And didn't you write a story recently about their relationship?
Well, the rumor was that Taylor gave a speech at Selena's wedding and talked about how they both went through so much.
And that was one of your exclusives.
It
and
was.
Speaking of exclusives, I've always wanted to do this. I have one fresh from the newsroom, exclusive breaking news on Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez. Are you ready for this?
Fresh off the press?
A source has exclusively told the Daily Mail that, quote, Selena was obsessed with Justin. He could do no wrong in her eyes, to the point where she thought they would be together forever. They'd have kids and be Hollywood's it couple. They told us she'll never fully admit it, but the fact that Justin chose Hailey and the feud that they all have with each other broke her heart. They went on to say that Justin will always impact her life, as he was part of it for so long. And while she's happy with Benny now, there's always an element of Justin being the one that got away. Keep reading.
So,
It's juicy. Keep going.
This same source is bringing it back to the last Uncoupled episode because they are also telling us about Taylor Swift, who sort of famously was not a big Bieber fan. And they told us that Taylor was always the one who would tell Selena her feelings about him and who was real with her, which helped her ultimately find Benny Blanco, who is the love of her life. The insider also hinted that Justin's issues, which we dive into, were one of the reasons he and Selena ultimately did not work out. They said they both grew up with each other, which they really did. They were literally together since they were
like 16
teenagers, and went through some of the biggest times of their careers, which huge pop superstardom. They both have seen things together that most people never see, and for that, he will always carry a flame for Selena, which she does have a hit song, Bluest Flame. Something Hailey doesn't want to think about and or hear. But Justin thinks Hailey has saved him, but it was Selena who made him.
Chills. I mean, that last line says so much. And it says so much about today's episode. It's focused on Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez. And I couldn't be more excited to talk about these two because they have had such a rocky and tumultuous relationship. I mean, look at how much note cards I have. I mean, it's stacked full, and that's just the highlights. So let's get into it. Let's get into when they got together. Let's go back to 2009. So early on, Justin Bieber was managed by none other than our favorite
Scooter Braun, who is actually who introduced them. He called up Selena Gomez's mom, who was also her manager at the time, after Justin revealed in an interview that Selena was his celebrity crush.
I know you're trying to get this answer out of me, but I think Selena Gomez is pretty. But I don't like her. I think she's cute. I think she's a cutie, but
just so cute. I mean, I think back to 2009 when I first saw Justin Bieber and he had that hair. He was sitting on the couch playing the guitar, singing "Baby, Baby, Baby."
That does not sound anything like
I
that
know,
song.
I cannot sing to save my life, but Justin could, and people were obsessed with him.
They really were, and I always thought, and I think you thought this too, that he was so much younger than us, and he really wasn't.
But I think the thing that always kind of threw me off is he's very much seemed like a child at the time.
Right.
And I think what's interesting about the way that they were introduced to each other is like, a lot of people speculated at the time that this was a PR couple. I mean, Selena Gomez was the Disney girl. She was super popular. She was fresh off the Disney Channel. And they were trying to attach Justin to her to help him kind of blow up.
And they both were so squeaky clean at the time, too, which is so wild to think about now.
They were. And they did things like, so Justin Bieber performed on Dick Clark's Rocking New Year's Eve. And he serenaded Selena singing One Less Lonely Girl.
Okay, but we have to talk about the importance of this, because One Less Lonely Girl was when he would bring out a girl at every single concert to do this, which as my 21-year-old intern recently reminded me, was sort of the ultimate dream of any young girl at the time.
Was it your dream?
No, because I'm an adult woman.
But you weren't into Justin?
No, I feel like it was a generational thing where it was a younger generation who loved him and dreamed of this, which I think also caused this ruckus of, oh my God, he's with Selena Gomez, which was so much jealousy.
Right. I mean, yes. And we'll get into that. We'll get into the comments that like she had to deal with and how rabid his fans were.
All of these tweens and even little kids at the time were like, this is my dream man. Right. And by putting her up on that stage, it was like, oh no, I'm with Selena Gomez.
Right. And when they first started getting together, they didn't come out officially as a couple.
I think they couldn't because they knew there would be this massive backlash.
Right. But we saw them kind of bopping around all over, I guess, Tween Town back in the time.
Right.
I mean, they were at like the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards together, and they showed up at like other red carpets and events and things. But the
Billboard Music Awards.
The one thing that sent the internet into a frenzy is when Justin was 16 at the time. Selena Gomez was 18. This was in December of 2010. They had their first official date, and it was at none other than the International House of Pancakes, IHOP. And the internet went wild. I feel like everyone was talking about this. I want to say Tumblr was blowing up. People were like, they're together. We saw her kind of holding his arm, walking down the street. And this is when people really got a taste that, like, these two are together.
Right, which again, like super squeaky clean date. And then in January, we see them kissing on a private yacht in St. Lucia. I think we see like a little butt grab. So it's sort of
grab. I mean, that's how you know.
Right, but it's also showing, oh, they're maybe a little more grown up than we think. They're a little more Hollywood than we think.
Right. So, I mean, still, they're not quite together at the time. I mean, for all intents and purposes, they are. But they officially make it official in February of 2011, when they step out on the Vanity Fair red carpet. She's wearing this red dress. He's wearing this black tuxedo. I think it was my dream as a child to make my debut at the Vanity Fair red carpet. So very fitting that they would do this. I was a little bit jealous, I'm not going to lie. But this is kind of what kicks off their relationship. This is what makes them them. This is like the first feather in the cap of Jelena.
Yes.
It's lovey-dovey kind of from the start. They're like making out at the Billboard Music Awards. We're seeing them about town. It's nice. But I think for me, it was always a little bit strange because, I mean, and I think Selena does get a lot of flack for this because she was 18 at the time and he was 16. Do you think if it was flipped around and it was a 16-year-old girl dating an 18-year-old boy, people would like be okay with that?
I think if you think about it in terms of high school, it's a sophomore and a senior. I think back then you were in two camps. Either you were a massive Jelena fan or you were someone who loved Justin Bieber and no one would ever be good enough for him.
Right. Yeah, and I think people started to get behind them a little bit back then.
I think they had massive fans, but then I think we also have to talk about the Oprah interview where there was all of this jumping to her defense, but at the same time, there was secrecy. I think they're young kids. They're in the spotlight. They've never dealt with this before, and they're not quite sure how to approach this.
Right. So getting back to that Oprah sit-down, in October of 2012, this is kind of right before the breakup rumors started to swirl, and Justin Bieber sits down with the Oprah Winfrey to talk about the relationship. And I found this one super interesting because you have one of the most powerful women in media sitting down with like a teenager at the time, kind of asking him about his love life. How is it being with this girl? Like, how do you feel about the fans and all this kind of stuff?
How are you and Selena able to see each other? How do you do that? Do you have to go, do you need police escorts and undercover and decoys?
We just, sometimes it's, we gotta take the back exits and do different things. But I never make her separate from me because I don't want her to ever feel like I'm ashamed of her.
And I thought it really is a powerful example of like the hold that some of these people had on culture. I mean, this teenage boy is sitting down with Oprah Winfrey talking about his love life. I mean, if that doesn't tell you how obsessed the country was with Justin and Selena, I don't know what else could.
I mean, Beliebers were such a thing. He literally swept the nation. He had that movie. He would go on tour. They wanted to be one less lonely girl. People were obsessed with him in like a One Direction way, in a way we really haven't had recently, but in this teeny pop superstardom way that I feel like we have not had in a long time.
The more I think about it, like we really haven't. I mean, there's people that come close. There's like Harry Styles, but like, other than that, there hasn't been a massive star to the level of Justin Bieber in quite a while. Shortly after that interview, they break up for the first time out of like what feels like hundreds of times.
Right.
But I think it's important to note that, you know, when they first broke up, people were already speculating that there was marriage rumors, even all the way back then.
Right. I think this is what's important, that sure, they break up over and over and over again, but at the same time, this was a really serious relationship for these two young people. And we hit November 2012, we hit this big breakup, and up until then, it had been this really sweet, almost Disney level couple. But 2012 going into 2013 is when it really hits the fan. He goes wild.
Yes.
And
like
it takes
before
a turn.
that happens, though, they break up, they get back together. They break up, they get back together. And like through it all, I think one common theme is they would always kind of use social media to hint at things like this. So like she would pop up in these black and white photos hugging a shirtless Justin Bieber. But there was one moment that I think is emblematic of a lot of how she felt in the relationship, or about their relationship, I should say. In May of 2013, Justin and Selena are back together at this point. And I forget the exact place they were, but there was this YouTube clip that went viral, and it's Taylor Swift walking by, and she looks over, she sees Selena Gomez kiss Justin Bieber, and she sticks out her tongue in disgust. Like, ugh. Have you ever had a friend that was dating someone that you couldn't stand?
Oh, absolutely. And I think especially when you're that age, and when you see, we're going to dive into 2013, when he was at his like peak bad boy stage, when you see this guy doing that, when you see this friend getting broken up with time and time again, and you brought up the social media, you see it all happening on social media, of course you're going to be unhappy.
Totally. And I mean, I think Taylor really alluded to what was to come when she stuck out her tongue.
Yes.
And she was like, oh, I don't like him.
But and I think also the social media thing is so interesting, because in recent years, Selena Gomez, who is still the most followed woman on social media, has taken all these breaks from social media. She doesn't really post. Her team posts for her. But back then, it was her. It was her. It was Justin. It still is Justin. But
it still is. And we'll get into the Instagram feud later on, because that was juicy AF.
And is still juicy. It's why people are still obsessed with this breakup years later. But back then, it was where you would really go to find out what was happening with them.
Right.
But when we go to 2013,
which is when the mess starts, and I'm here for it. I love the mess. I want to hear more.
Let's get to the mess, which is Justin Bieber goes to the Anne Frank house.
Okay, wait. Before we get into it, you were telling me about this yesterday, and I was like, don't tell me we're doing this live on camera.
Do you really not remember this?
I
because
don't
it was actually
remember
crazy.
this, but I'm excited to hear about
he
it.
goes to the Anne Frank house, and he signed the guest book, and he goes, I know you would have been a believer.
No.
Yeah, no, this is real. And it was so controversial at the time.
Anne Frank?
Yeah, at the Anne Frank house.
I mean, I can see why it's controversial.
I thought you were going to be like, I can see why she would have been a believer.
No,
Yeah.
That too, but
Yeah,
we'll not get into it.
She would have. Okay, so that was big mistake. And then he pees in a restaurant mop bucket. That wasn't great.
That's not great, but I think we've all been there when it's like you really
We've
have
all
to
peed in
go.
a restaurant mop bucket.
I mean, maybe not a restaurant mop bucket, but like we've all had to go. So I give him a little bit of grace there.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want this to turn into let's bash on Justin. 2013 was a crazy year for Justin.
It
I
really
think
was.
This is when we start to see him lose that squeaky clean baby image.
Oh, it was beyond lose it. Also, wait, when did he have the monkey?
The monkey?
Do you actually not remember this? He like adopted a monkey and then left it behind.
Now that I think about it. Yeah.
Probably sometime around that. He was also photographed on a brothel visit in Brazil, and a porn star took a selfie of him lying in bed.
Yes,
so
I remember this.
This is when not only is he not with Selena, he's making it super clear he's not with Selena. I mean, accidentally in that case, but
Totally
he's
accidentally.
moving
I
on.
mean, the guy was asleep. It looked like he had
thought
the
you were gonna say
time
the
of
guy was
his life
asleep.
that night, and he was passed out while this woman was smiling, walking around the hotel room, just taking photos.
It's also crazy that he did not take people's phones at that time.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, hindsight's always 2020.
Okay, and also, when did he get with Miranda Kerr?
That brings us to 2013, end of 2013, end of
Okay.
2014, or beginning of 2014.
Okay.
He starts doing some couple swapping
Okay.
with none other than Selena Gomez. At the time, Orlando Bloom was dating a Victoria's Secret model, right? Miranda Kerr, a gorgeous woman.
Stunning.
And they break up. Then Justin Bieber starts being snapped and papped around town with Miranda Kerr. And Orlando Bloom starts having a little fling with Selena Gomez. The internet catches on. They realize that these two are couple swapping. But the funny thing is, this actually comes to a head when there's a fight
Yes,
between
the
Orlando and Justin. So tell us more about it.
The punch.
The punch.
I feel like there's that picture everyone remembers. They're sitting on the curb, right?
They're sitting on the curb, and it's just, I think harkens us back to a fun time in celebrity culture when I feel like people weren't as concerned with social media and everything that was going on, and you had these kind of fun moments. I mean, I think of like the Tumblrs, like pop culture died in 2010s and like the late 2000s, early 2010s. I think this is the peak that I'm so obsessed with when it comes to celebrity culture. Like, there just seemed to be a little bit more freedom for these people to be wild and get away with things like
Right.
punching each other in public.
Or even think about Selena's wedding to Benny Blanco, where it was literally under a tent. You could see absolutely nothing. They're just so much more aware. Whereas back then, you could see everything. You could see someone pee into a bucket. You could see someone get punched. It was so much more fun.
While this is all going on, Justin is meeting a number of really gorgeous women.
Yes, but one is the most important
One.
lady of all.
Which is?
Haley Baldwin, now Bieber.
And wait, before we get into it, who introduced them?
Okay, so this is sort of the most important thing because he is introduced to his now wife by the Jenner Kardashians. And the rumor on the internet is basically that the Kardashians, who there are loads and loads of rumors that he has hooked up with some members of that family, did not like
should
Selena.
we go into it? He hooked up with Kendall, allegedly.
Allegedly.
I mean, there were photos of him making out with Courtney on like the hood of a car, right?
There.
Maybe I'm just remembering that in my mind, but I do remember there being rumors of him and Kourtney Kardashian.
There were rumors.
And then there was one of my favorite Instagram posts that he's ever made, which was him standing behind the Kris Jenner. And I believe the caption was something along the lines of, "Who's your daddy now? Kendall at Courtney."
You know that's the caption.
So I do think, and you heard it here first, Kris Jenner and Justin Bieber had a night
To remember.
to remember.
So, on the topic of the Kardashians, the rumor on social media has always been that they were not fans of Selena Gomez, and they basically introduced him and wanted this relationship with Haley Baldwin to happen, and were always pushing her towards him, and it finally worked out.
Interesting. And
Yeah.
more on that later. We'll get into that. I mean, to kind of speed things up, from August 27th, 2014 to like November, they're on again, off again. Spotted here, spotted there, on each other's Instagrams. Rumors fly on social media.
We see Justin dining with Kendall Jenner and Haley Baldwin at Nobu, and that is the first time we sort of think something's happening. And before this, Haley was actually a huge fan of Selena and Justin and was
Yes.
literally tweeting about how much she loved Jelena, which makes this whole thing even wilder.
Right. And that's when we first start hearing the rumors that he may have this romantic relationship with Haley.
Right.
I think it was towards the end of 2014 where Selena kind of laid the rumors to rest again and said that they are officially split. They are done. They are over it. She did an interview with Ryan Seacrest when discussing her single, The Heart Wants What It Wants. When asked where their relationship stood at that point, Gomez told Seacrest, "I support him. I think I always will. I'm upset when he's upset. I'm happy when he's happy." But that was kind of the nail in the coffin. That's when we knew that they were split. And we know that she went on to start seeing Zed in 2015. Zed is this super popular music producer. That brings us to 2015, which is another interesting year.
Yeah.
I mean, 2015 is the year that Justin releases Purpose, and he kind of starts going on an image rehab tour.
Yes.
And speaking of 2015, you told me something yesterday that you actually interviewed the Justin Bieber.
This is true.
And you wrote a cover story. Did you bring the cover?
Oh my God, I wish
Margaret.
now. In 2015, this huge image rehab starts, and part of this is Scooter Braun buys Tiger Beat magazine, which is the teeny bopper magazine at the time.
Right.
And I did a big cover story on the Biebs for Tiger Beat. And this was part of saying, hey, let's forget about all of this drama that happened. He is still your teen heartthrob. He's still so sweet. Some of his answers were, I love the Bible. I love my family. It was all about saying, none of this happened. He is still the sweet guy you remember. And I have to say, Purpose, incredible album. Like,
Yes.
At this point, I thought, he's going to happen again. Like, this is going to be his big comeback, and people are going to be able to forget about all of this drama.
And I remember in Williamsburg, like when Purpose came out and we were talking about this, like there were signs up in Williamsburg that were like, hey, we know you're listening to Purpose. Like
Yes.
It was a good album.
Spotify put out a massive billboard on the water that was like, we know this is your #1 streamed album.
Was it on your Spotify rap that year?
I loved it. Yeah.
It was good. 2015, Justin and Selena are still very much apart. I mean, just when you thought you could call it quits, when you could say they're done, they're over each other. Selena had been with Zed. Justin, had his romance rumors with Hailey Baldwin. You see them spotted together in Beverly Hills. And I think there's this very fascinating Instagram that has Justin Bieber serenading Selena Gomez.
I guess you say what can make me feel this way, my girl. Talking about my girl.
In Beverly Hills at a hotel. And, the interesting thing about that is I think there are these moments where you feel like they're finally going to get back together. This could be it. The Romeo and Juliet of our generation are finally going to get married and just fall in love. But then, fast forward a few months later.
December 31st, 2015, when we have the Biebs kissing Hailey Baldwin in St. Bart's. And again, I think he was on vacation with Kendall Jenner. Like, I think all roads lead back to the Kardashians sort of
And
separating Romeo and Juliet style.
Those bitches.
So now we have January 4th, 2016. Selena says she is so beyond done talking about Justin. She is over it at this point. But then we think, okay, Justin is now going to be with Hailey. Not true. He begins dating Sophia Richie, which also wild when you think about it because Sophia later dates
Scott Disick.
Yeah. So,
Yes. So
what
all roads
a
are still
tangled
leading back to
web.
those damn bitches.
So Justin then posts this series of Instagrams with Sophia. And this also takes us back. Like, there's a series of times where Selena basically jumps to Justin's defense on social media, but also will come after him. It goes back and forth. So fans start sort of revolting, and Justin threatens to delete his Instagram. This is something we see time and time again.
This is like the peak moment of the relationship, I think, when everyone went nuts because of what Selena posted.
Selena posts in the comment section, if you can't handle the hate, then stop posting pictures of your girlfriend, lol. It should be special between you two only. Don't be mad at your fans. They love you.
I mean, she's not wrong.
No, not at all.
She's not wrong. But I mean, I think this just shows how much that they cared about each other. They were some of the most followed people on the planet. And every little thing that they did was followed. And like, it was even dumb things like going to Skid Row together.
Okay, but that's wild. That's not like something people do together.
That's true.
But that is a perfect segue to bring us to 2017 when they are back on again, and they are pictured making a suspicious stop in a seedier area of Hollywood, according to Radar Online, which this is sort of, they're back together, but it is not squeaky clean. Things are going downhill. No one knows why one of the most famous couples in the world would need to be in a seedy area of Hollywood together.
Skid Row brings up an interesting part of the relationship that we haven't really dove into yet. And that's the fact that, like, they experienced a lot of first things together, and a lot of those first things allegedly were perhaps drug use, drinking, partying together, those kind of things. I mean, Justin has been open about this. You know, I think that's something that you have to keep in mind when you look at this relationship.
Yes.
There are extremely high highs and there are low lows. I mean, there's rumors of fighting, there's rumors of arguments, there's rumors of very toxic things that are, you know, tied to some of this stuff. I mean, there are moments where Justin is barefoot on stage crying, and you know, you can chalk up some of this to the substance abuse, but I think when you're in such a deep relationship and you're going through this with someone else, you know, it could factor into what went on between them.
Which brings us to March 2018, and that is when they break up for good, which obviously we didn't know at the time. They've been so on and off, but it's over then. But September 2018 is when he marries Haley, which is actually a crazy timeline when you think about it. And she sings about that in one of her songs.
And it was interesting because right before, you know, this 2018 split, I think we had our last glimmer of hope that they would be back together. I mean, there was this, Selena had been dating The Weeknd for a while. They broke up, and then there was this flurry of photos that came out. We see them riding bikes together in Los Angeles. We see them kind of walking around, sitting down, having breakfast together. And I think people, for the Jelenas, or whatever we call them out there, this was their last moment where it's like, okay, this could actually happen. But as you mentioned, 2018, they're done.
Right.
And then just a few short months later, he marries Haley.
Right. And if we fast forward to the summer of 2018, I was living in Williamsburg, and so was Justin. He was living in my friend's building, and he was crying all over town. It was actually so sad to see in sort of the strangest places. And at one point, he was photographed crying, and he held up The Meaning of Marriage, Facing the Complexities of Commitment with the Wisdom of God by Timothy Keller, which we touched on. Throughout this, he became really religious and joined Hillsong and embraced Christianity. But he held up that book to explain away the crying. But he was often photographed with Haley just crying. So obviously he was struggling with something at the time.
Right.
Really deeply, right before they get married.
Right. And, you know, it brings us back to that exclusive that we broke live on air. And I think, you know, Haley saved him. And I think there's this, what becomes almost a performative nature to their relationship, where she almost has to feel like she has won. She has to claim him. She has to be like, I am the one. We are together. And, you know, the social media stuff that went on prior and the speculation and rumors on the internet didn't end when they got married.
No, if anything, they got stronger. And Selena's fans pulled up all of these sort of, you can call them crazy coincidences, but it seemed to be Haley copying Selena's Instagram posts literally down to the outfit she was wearing. They're both beauty brand founders. She was giving speeches that Selena gave word for word. And
we can go back and we know that Haley was a Jelena stan. So, I mean, it's to me a little bit creepy that, like, you're living your best life by becoming the woman that your now husband used to date.
Right. And they're happily married. They share a son. But at the same time, people are constantly pulling up these comparisons. There are times where Haley has liked posts that seemingly reference his ex. So it absolutely has not ended, to the point where in 2025, Selena releases an album with her now husband, Benny Blanco, that seems to take a dig at both of them.
Right.
And she has this song called How Does It Feel to Be Forgotten? And it really seems to call out both of them for this behavior. And she says, talking like we're friends, honey, what were you thinking? Which at certain points They've posted pictures together to show, no, everything's fine, or she said things are fine, but this song says things aren't fine.
Things are not fine.
She says, he loves me, I love him, seemingly referencing Benny. Look at you, just look at you now. You're so embarrassing. Go cry when no one's watching, which famously a crier. I can't imagine. How does it feel to be forgotten? Which kind of a dig.
I mean, it's a straight up dig. And I think that's kind of what I love so much about Selena Gomez is like she presents as a very like put together woman on top of her stuff, like squeaky clean. But that girl can be a bitch when she wants to be. And I think this is a great example of that. Just going back to their relationship, it's interesting because Hailey Bieber and Selena, don't they try and publicly make up at one point?
They have not tried to publicly make up since, I think, a few years ago. So this feud is going strong.
Through it all, I think the biggest takeaway from this is that these two were each other's first loves. America was obsessed with them. And I think no matter what happens, they will forever be linked to each other. They will forever be the Romeo and Juliet for millennials. They will forever hold a place in our heart. And they will forever be that couple that people loved seeing together, loved when they fell apart, loved following every single juicy detail of what happened between them, myself included.
I think you really nailed it because these were teen idols who we saw their relationship play out on social media, and we can't really say that about most people. We saw the highs, we saw the lows, we saw their paparazzi pictures, so of course we're going to be obsessed with it years later, even though they're both married, one of them has a child. But there's still the drama. There's still sort of the copycat behavior on Instagram. We're always going to want to know what happened and what's going to happen next.
Yes. So thank you, Justin Bieber. Thank you, Selena Gomez.
Thank you, Believers.
You have made the last 14 years of life incredibly interesting.
Worth living.
So with that, I want to play a game.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Let's play our favorite game here at Uncoupled, Red Flag, Green Flag.
Okay.
Okay, so first, a date at IHOP.
Absolutely a green flag.
Green
Oh
flag?
my God, yes. Chocolate chip pancakes?
Okay, I thought you would say red flag. I
No.
thought you would want like something more bougie. But
Absolutely
like,
not.
if you're down for IHOP,
Chocolate
I'm
chip
down
pancakes.
for IHOP.
They're always open, even in hurricanes. Isn't that them? Okay, I
This
guess
is
it's a
news
red
to
flag
me,
for
but
them.
like I love this. Okay.
Okay.
Green flag for me now because I would love to go to IHOP with you.
Oh my God, amazing. Our next episode at IHOP.
This I
Yeah.
threw on the list
Love.
because at one point Justin Bieber rented out Staples Center for an intimate date with none other than Selena Gomez.
Okay.
So if one of your gentleman callers
One of
makes
my
a
many.
big statement and does something huge for you, red flag or green
Green
flag?
flag. What about you? Love.
Red. It depends. If it's
Okay,
like
yellow flag?
If yellow.
Why?
Yeah. I mean, what if it's kind of creepy?
Well, you didn't present it as creepy. You presented it as romantic and sweet.
Fair.
Yeah.
I still think it's a yellow flag.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. This haircut, which you can kind of see here, but Justin's infamous, famous mop.
I'm gonna shock you again and go green flag. That's
Stop.
like emo hair.
Really?
Love. Yeah.
You love it?
Yeah,
Even
not
to
on
this
him,
day?
but like a love like emo hair.
Next,
Okay.
saying we're just friends, nothing more.
That's a red flag for anyone. What do you? No one's gonna go green flag on that one.
I mean, if you're just friends and you say
That's different. Like if I'm like, oh, we're just friends, nothing more. That's normal. But if it's like your significant other saying that,
fair, red
Yeah.
flag then.
okay.
Next, going to a seedy area
Again,
for a meetup.
who is going green flag for this one?
I might.
You're gonna ride a bike in a seedy area.
You never know.
Okay.
Next, marrying the girl you told her not to worry
Okay,
about.
I'm gonna be honest. I added that one because to me, Hailey Bieber or Baldwin at the time was obviously the one. He constantly was like, "Don't worry about her." Red flag,
Red flag.
all the way.
Yes, and we'll end it on that. So we have another game that
Brand
we wanted
new.
to try here at Uncoupled. I love this game. It's called Fling or Forever. So we'll go through couples. On the count of 3, we'll say if we think it's a fling or if they are forever.
Okay.
So here at the Daily Mail, one of our favorite couples to talk about, Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet. On the count of 3, fling or forever. 1, 2, 3.
Fling.
Fling.
Why did you say it like that?
I can't decide. I love them. I
Oh.
want them to stay together. I mean, Kylie has been through it. I think he's good for her.
Okay, I did recently write an exclusive about how they do keep breaking up and making up, so I'm going to have to go fling on this one.
Okay, fling. I think we both can agree there.
Okay, who's next?
Next, Fling or Forever, Kelsey
Ooh.
Ballerini and Chase Stokes. 1, 2, 3.
Fling. They literally broke up, got back together, and then within 24 hours of getting back together, he posted and he was like, I don't know why I'm blocked.
Yeah.
He knows why.
That girl just seems messy. I wish you
Yeah.
the best, Kelsey. I wish you the
Same,
best.
love your music.
On the count of 3, Fling or Forever, Taylor and Travis. 1, 2, 3.
Forever,
Fling.
but
Fling.
the fact
Fling.
that she recently said they've never or he said we've never fought,
Exactly.
wild thing to
That
say.
is just red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag for
Crazy.
them. I mean, to say you've never fought, there's something weird going on there. Fling or Forever on the count of 3, Sydney Sweeney and Scooter Braun.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, Forever.
Fling. What?
I love this couple for some strange reason. I
Okay.
think Scooter is a horrible man in many ways, but is a genius and has done incredible things.
Okay.
I think Sydney Sweeney is very much the same. I am obsessed with her. I think
Okay.
she's gorgeous. She's got a banging body. I mean, dare I say she has great genes. We're not going to go there, but you know, I think these two may just be perfect for each other.
He is still active on Raya. So I'm going to go fling
Ooh.
on this one.
Is that an exclusive I need to pull out of my shirt?
Yes, get it out of there. It's been
Scooter's on
marinating
Raya.
all episode.
So you think it's a fling?
It's full on fling.
Well, we'll see.
We'll find out. All right.
And
Let's do our last one. But not least.
Brad Pitt and Inez de Ramon.
Okay.
1, 2, 3,
Fling.
fling.
Yeah.
I don't even know who she is, so
She was married to a vampire from the Vampire Diaries.
sorry. But speaking of Fling and Forever, that brings me to my next question. Who should we do next?
Well, on the topic of Brad Pitt, I'm kind of thinking Brangelina.
Brangelina, that could be a lot of fun. I think there are amazing things we can talk about. I mean, Mr.
Epic
and Mrs.
breakup,
Smith.
but-
But we want to hear from you guys.
We would
So
love to.
tell us, do you want to see Brangelina? Is there someone else you'd like us to dive deep on? We are open to your feedback. We are open to your comments, so drop them below, please.
We would love to hear more. Perhaps Kelsey Ballerini, perhaps Kylie and Timothy if they're broken up by the time this airs.
Oh, should we do our famous sign off?
Of
The
course.
kiss. Okay, so
Until next
next
time.
time